Chapter 1. The Lost Crown. Pawsville wasn't always peaceful. It took time. Time and a lot of screening. Back in the day, before the treaties and the cozy blanket forts, this place was chaos. Street fights over chicken bones, backyard scuffles over catnip deals going bad, and full-on midnight brawls that always ended with someone stuck in a tree. A whole generation of cats growing up with emotional trauma and attitude problems. But everything changed today that Queen Scraggles took the throne. Now, Scraggles wasn't your typical ruler. She wasn't born into this feline royalty. She wasn't even a cat. She was a Shih Tzu, small, gray, and white. Looked like she'd been dipped in clouds and blessed by a stylist with a good eye and a fabulous attitude. But don't let that fool you. She didn't just rule Pawsville, she ran it. With the side eye so sharp, it could neuter a tomcat on sight. She didn't ask for respect, she was the reason respect existed. Period.
Good drone.
It was early. The sun hadn't even finished stretching. Queen Scraggles slept, curled up in her royal chambers, an elaborate silk canopied head tucked inside the hollowed shell of an old suitcase lined with velvet socks and the faint smell of Gange rider sheets. In her mind, she dreamed of betrayal. She was in the royal courtyard, eating an entire rotisserie chicken and living her best royal life. As she was about halfway done with her lemon-peppered poultry snack, she went to take a drink of water. As she leaned over the water bowl, her reflection caught her attention. She squinted her eyes and waited for the water to come to a still. And as the water rested, her eyes grew as large as the rotisserie chicken she had just been devouring. Royal gasp! It was the tiara. It was gone. Everybody in the royal courtyard started pointing and laughing. Her enemies were doing that slow clap villains do when they finally get humbled. Somewhere, Beyonce was twirling. Everything got dark around her, and all she could hear was laughter. She shot up. Her heart thumped. Her fur was a mess. She looked around, panting.
Oh, thank goodness. It is just a dream. That's the last time I ate a whole rotisserie chicken before that.
She reached towards her velvet-lined pillow, where her tiara always sat. Empty. She blinked. Reached again. Still empty. There was a beat of silence. Then,
My tiara, it's been stolen. I hope whoever took it enjoyed having paws, because today will be the last day they have them.
she hopped off the bed and stomped towards the balcony. She took in a deep breath and bellowed out with a mighty roar.
Guards, royal chambers, now!
The crownless queen.
Chippers arrived first, obviously. He didn't just enter rooms, he made entrances. A whirlwind of brown fluff and dramatics, breathless and wide-eyed, like he had just barked at a thunderstorm, and won.
Your Majesty,
He announced, skidding to a halt.
this is no ordinary theft. This is a royal-level felony, a high crime against crown and country. This is
He struck a pose.
crown napping.
Scraggles raised one perfectly arched eyebrow.
Did you just make a pun?
Tibbers paused.
Yes?
She sighed.
Read the roll.
Before she could roll her eyes properly, a second voice chimed in, higher, faster, and already halfway to a breakdown.
I checked the windows, the trees, the snack stash, under the futon, where I definitely don't hide dinner rolls.
Came the frantic voice of Pikachu. bounding in with wild orange fur and twitchy energy. Tibbers narrowed his eyes.
Why would the tiara be under the futon?
Pikachu's voice dropped to a whisper.
You never know. Some folks like to lick their balls under there.
Tibbers gasped.
I have never.
Pikachu said, eyes darting away.
Sore!
Scraggles exhaled slowly and rubbed her temples with a paw.
Okay, focus. Someone stole my tiara. That means someone is either very bold or very, very dumb.
The room went still. She stood tall. Well, as tall as a Shih Tzu could, and her voice dropped to a deadly calm.
Find these thieves, bring back my crown, or don't come back at all.
Pikachu squeaked. Tibbers puffed out his chest and saluted. And then, from the corner of the room, a soft, syrupy voice slipped through the shadows like perfume from trouble.
A whisper from the shadows.
A soft voice slithered through the air, low and sugar-smooth.
Looking for something? Sparkly?
Every head snapped toward the shadows. Out strolled Beyoncé, the elusive, a calico wrapped in confidence, swaying with a kind of casual grace that made you feel underdressed and underprepared. Her fur shimmered like moonlight on oil, her eyes all secrets and sass. She moved like smoke had learned how to walk. From behind a sack of emergency kibble, one of the kitchen mice whispered,
That's Beyoncé, the wild whisker. She once vanished for 3 months and came back wearing a gemstone collar and a limp. No explanation, just vibes.
Tibbers said.
If you know something, speak.
She didn't even glance at him.
I wasn't talking to the help.
Her gaze locked on Scraggles. Scraggles said,
You seen the tiara?
Honey, I called a disturbance in the sparkly force.
Pikachu blurted,
Where is it? Who took it? Was it Tibbers? It feels like something he'd do.
Tibbers snapped.
Excuse me.
Beyoncé yawned, unbothered.
So noisy, so needy.
Then she turned, slowly, dramatically, and let the words drip from her tongue like forbidden tea.
Where queens squat, but dignity rots. Where secrets clump, and plots are plotted.
The room fell into a hush, whispers amongst commoners. Kevin said to his brother Jack,
Did she just riddle us?
Jack muttered.
She always does this.
Tibbers's tail twitched. He said,
What does it mean?
I vote pantry.
said a blonde cat in armor.
That's where I do all my plotting.
I poop in the oven sometimes,
admitted a rogue, crazy-eyed tabby. Pikachu raised a paw. He said,
Is it the bathtub?
Beyoncé rolled her eyes so hard it echoed. She flicked her tail toward the door, and just like that, she vanished into the hallway. Tibbers blinked. He said,
Did she just exit on a riddle?
Scraggles deadpanned.
Classic Beyoncé.
The realization.
The room was quiet. Too quiet. Then, softly, from the back,
She's talking about the litter box, isn't she?
someone whispered. A noble gasped so hard he hiccuped,
Not of royal litter box.
muttered a wide-eyed pug in a monocle.
my cousin Jingles fell in once. He was never the same.
Oh, come on!
Pikachu groaned, backing toward the door like the idea might not follow him if he moved fast enough.
There has to be another interpretation. Something symbolic. Maybe a metaphor.
She flicked her tail toward the courtyard.
Said Tibbers grimly. Scraggles was already halfway down the hallway.
You can riddle all you want. I'm not about to let my crown sit in a box of clumped regret.
Pikachu dragged himself after her.
I'm not emotionally equipped to handle this. I'm going to end up catching pink eye before breakfast.
Behind them, the rest of the court shuffled reluctantly forward, like soldiers marching toward a battlefield made of stink. Outside, they went. The discovery. Pikachu stood over the litter box, staring down like it had personally wronged him. He took one last look at the crowd, then muttered under his breath.
This is not what I thought I would be doing with my life.
Tibbers leaned in from behind.
Just do it quick, like a Band-Aid. A very gross, very royal Band-Aid.
I hate that. That makes sense.
Pikachu grumbled. He raised a paw, hesitated, then recoiled.
I swear, it didn't usually smell like regret and feet.
One deep breath. A silent prayer to whatever deity watches over anxious orange cats. He reached in. A pause. Then,
Aha! I found
he stopped.
a peanut. Weird.
He flung it over his shoulder and dove back in, sniffing and mumbling to himself.
Not it. Not it. Definitely not it. Nope. Possibly cursed. Not it.
His paw brushed something solid, something smooth, something sparkly. His breath caught. He slowly pulled it free, grains of lavender-scented litter cascading down in slow motion. He lifted the tiara into the light like he'd just won an Oscar.
Yes, I got it.
Pikachu yelled triumphantly.
I did it. Who's the fluffing hero now?
He spun dramatically, basking in the moment.
That's right. Y'all doubted me. But look at this. Your boy pulled it off. From the depths of despair, from the sands of shame,
Then the wind changed. Not just a breeze, a shift, like the sky had just remembered something terrible. A sudden hush swept across the courtyard. Birds stopped chirping. Leaves stopped rustling. Even the flies hovered in place, mid-buzz. A chill slithered down every spine. The sunlight dimmed. Not gone, but off. Like the brightness had been drained just enough to raise every fur and feather. Then came the sound. Faint, but getting closer. Thump, thump, thump. Wings, heavy ones. Wings too big for any bird that belonged here. Pikachu blinked up at the sky, the tiara still held high.
Y'all feel that? Or am I having a stroke?
Tibbers's ears twitched.
Number, that's not right.
Scraggles' eyes widened, just for a second, then narrowed with chilling clarity. She didn't scream. She didn't panic. She gave one order.
Run.
Every head snapped upward. A shape blotted out the sun. Too late. And with a shriek that split the sky, the bird of nightmares dropped from above, talons wide, fury in flight.